So,
oh, okay.
yeah,
Oh.
So, just to clear up the air, or just to kick off, this is an interview that I called for myself. I asked for this interview, so I'm the initiator. And then, of course, it would have been nice to have the three of you, Dr. Tsiu Khan and yourself, but it's okay. Dr. Khan will join us at some point.
Later.
Yeah. Of course, the reason of calling this meeting, I called it as a member, as a member in good standing
of the SAMDP.
Yeah, of SMDP. Yes.
That's it.
And I take it that whatever I'm doing here, one way or the other, it will also be a way of representing other members, perhaps who are afraid to stand up, or who don't know what is actually going on.
That's correct. Yes.
Yes.
No, I appreciate the leadership, or I should say, because I represent also Shaida and Dr. Tsiu. Dr. Tsiu is a military person. He still works as a orthodontist, I think. For military. But he, Dr. Tsiu, in fact, he and I and others drafted the SAMDP Constitution around 1989. So he's a veteran.
Yes.
And then there's Dr. Shaida Khan, who's presently on the way from Carltonville, where she does locums, and she will join us. And she also is a veteran from those times. And she says she's been secretary of the SAMDP for 25 years now. 25 years. It means that that's how long the board has actually not really changed. So she's got quite a lot of the memory, or the intention of the SAMDP. She's got everything in her head. And then there's me. I'm Dr. Rangak. I'm also a founder member of the SAMDP. Why do I keep saying SAMDP? And I was involved in the drafting of the Constitution, and we were also involved in the newsletter that used to exist called Tiger by the Tail with Dr. Andrew Ratila. Long ago, so things were still good then. And then it's the fourth person in this group that was ousted. How can this thing want to switch off right now? It says low power. And let me connect it up.
Oh, I see.
The fourth member is Dr. Mabasa.
Yeah.
Dr. Mabasa, being president of the SAMDP at some stage. He does agree. And he's presently recovering from a serious illness. He's had an operation or two on his lower abdomen. So we miss him. So he's not able to join us in this Zoom meeting. But the four of us were unceremoniously and illegally ejected from being board members of the SAMDP.
Okay, I see that Dr. Khan, I think it's Dr. Khan who has just joined us. I think we're three now.
Hey, that's fast, man.
Yeah. But now, hi, Shaida. Hello, Shaida.
I don't see anyone.
I admitted her.
Okay.
I don't know, maybe she has got some technical glitches or something.
Yes.
But I see we're three now. Okay, no, T, maybe, well, that's good. That's a nice background. I just had, of course, I got some information from reliable sources that there are quite a lot of problems at SMDP and the investment wing of SMDP, which is a SMDP Group Holding. Maybe to
and
assist.
that's the one they call SGH.
Yeah, SGH. Yeah, yeah.
That's good. Okay.
Yeah, maybe to assist our colleagues, the public, and everyone else who will be listening to this video and who would sympathize with us and assist us in actually getting all the problems in SMDP sorted out. But especially for our colleagues, maybe can you give me a background of why SMDP was, because you said it was started around 89, am I correct?
Yes, yes.
What was the reason to,
the reason the SAMDP was started was that we were seeing the discussions towards the removal of the apartheid government, the discussions by the ANC in exile in Mozambique and in Zambia and so on, the health practitioners involved there, they wanted to link up with somebody, with other people inside the country, with other medical practitioners inside the country. And so they were contacting individuals. And Joe Mailani was the most crucial person to contact. And he agreed to help them set up the health plan, the ready to govern plan. So he was in contact with the ANC in exile, especially the health desk of the ANC. Dr. Mgijima was one of them, and then Dr. I think for Pasha and people who were in exile who were medical practitioners, Dr. Ramlakan and so on, and who else? They got in touch with the people who were pro ANC or pro the liberation struggle inside South Africa, and at that time, that is when Dr. Joe Mailani and others got together and said, "Hey guys, we've got to unite so that we countrywide become part of the solution and not part of the problem." And the other thing was, at that stage, the MASA, Medical Association of South Africa, which was the white government's sort of wing of health professionals. Of course, most of them were neutral, but of course, no white people could be neutral during the apartheid time. You could be an opposition member or whatever, but you were still on the side of the ruling party. So the MASA, Medical Association of South Africa, the SADA, South African Dental Association, those also considering what should happen in the new South Africa after 1994. And so they were an organized group, and we, as a majority Black Indians in Carleton and Abomdab, countrywide, we were not a single organization. So that's when Joe suggested with the other founding members of the SAMDP that we register this thing as an NPO. Well, initially it was just an association. So we would have meetings in Altreville, in Nelspruit, and this way and that way. And we were flying in a two-seater plane with Joe, going to Mafeking and have a meeting with the doctors there, or driving to other parts of the country. So it was a big issue to organize countrywide all the Black groupings, all the Black doctors. So ultimately then the SAMDP was registered as an association, and it became very popular, and in the sense that it was educating doctors and dentists. Well, by the way, it united dentists. That's how Dr. Letoku Tsiu and people from the dental fraternity also came together and said, we can't set up a dental unit and also a medical unit in the new South Africa. Let's have a unified organization. called the SAMDP, South African Medical and Dental Practitioners. That's easy. So that's how in 1989 the SAMDP came into being and began to grow and in the initial office there at Nasrec, where it seems to have stuck for the rest of time. It's still, its head office is still like 1 or 2 offices at Nasrec. So that's how the SAMDP started. And if Dr. Khan is already with us in this meeting, yeah, I know that she will have other things to add about the foundational matters of the SAMDP, South African Medical and Dental Practitioners. Over to you, Dr. Bakos.
Yeah, thanks, T. Thanks for such a wonderful background. Yeah, it's a very noble organization. I mean, from the onset, you can see that
Yes.
yeah, it had a vision, very noble, and
Yes.
probably will understand what happened after. I don't know if Dr. Khan, can you hear us? I think she's struggling. She tries to join with her iPhone. I don't know what's happening.
Yes.
Tech problems.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
but anyway,
that was that. Like, yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Who is on the iPhone?
It's me. It's Pilakos here.
Hi, Dr. Pilakos.
Oh, hello, Pilakos. Welcome.
Yes. How are you?
Okay. It's
all right, Doctor. How are Dr. Pilakos?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm okay, man.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Dr. Pilakos, were you listening to me as I was outlining the origins of the SAMDP around 1989 between, well, yeah.
Yeah, I was able to hear.
Yes, that's super. So you can add on to that because I must have left out quite a lot of good points that we want to capture in this Zoom meeting. Dr. Pilakos?
Hello?
Oh,
yes, Dr. Pilakos. Yeah.
Can you hear me, guys?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, we can. Yes.
Tabo, Dr. Rangaka had just given us a background on when and why SMDP was formed.
Yes.
Probably we just wonder if you have something to add. If you have been listening, you managed to hear what Dr. Rangaka was saying.
Yeah, no, I think I do understand. I hope he said the number, he gave even the year 1989 when we started.
Yeah. Okay. So everything went well, guys. I mean, it sounds, I mean, to me, it was a very noble reason. I mean, it's a very noble organization indeed. And but what happened then? Because from my side, I only joined because I finished 96. I think 98, I joined SMDP 98. So it was already in business. And when was it incorporated as a NPO? Which year do you remember?
Let me give some answers before Dr. Pilakos, because that's where he will be very helpful with exact ideas. Between 1989 and 1994, there were negotiations between the SAMDP, now as a black organization. Others were saying that is SAMA, South African Medical Association, and DASA, SADA, South African Dental Association. They said, no, guys, why do you get out of these organizations? Why don't you join us? So they said, no, but we're coming into a new dispensation, under a new constitution. So we do not want to be part of SADA and MASA. And those two organizations were also getting transformed. MASA, Medical Association of South Africa, changed to become the SADA, the SAMA that we have now. And then I don't remember what DASA did, the Dental Association of South Africa, whether they also transformed, but they probably did. So otherwise, we just forged ahead and did not want to become part of the SAMA and the SADA, and thought, let us consolidate the Black excellence and Black professionals. So we reached out to the universities and got Professor Mukwena and and others who were in academic institutions to be part of this. And so it grew so that after 1994, it was well established, and because of its help in all the locations where there was even violence, all the doctors were supporting and helping victims of violence, and mostly it would be the SADF or SADF against the organization, the MK and the Upline Lazanla in the trenches. So that is how SAMDP actually was positioned as a organization on the side of the liberation struggle, and in the locations where things were actually happening, and we were treating people free of charge, etc. And that is that is the situation, let's say, from 1994 onwards. And so I can hand over to Dr. Justice Pilwa at this point.
Yes, Dr. Rangaka.
Please.
Just one of my involvement and my activities in the SAMDP, I was part of the subunit called the business subunit of the SAMDP. So I've been there before, but at that time, hello?
Yes, we can hear you, Doc.
Yes, at that time,
okay.
Dr. Lituko Tio was the head of that unit.
Around,
of the business unit.
What year? What year?
What year?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, which year?
Yes, what year?
1997.
Oh, 97, okay.
Yes, 1997, he was head of the subunit. But personally, I've been active in the SAMDP basically since its inception. I was the secretary for the Pretoria SAMDP branch. That's where I am. But we were based I'm personally based in Garankuwa. And then we formed what we call ultimately IPA movement under the SAMDP. I was here in Garankuwa, Mabopani, Winterfeld area. We called ourselves ODIPA. We still do exist as an ODIPA even up to today. But then there was a Soshanguve. We also had Adridgeville, Mamelodi, and we had Breads, which was outside Pretoria, but we had to incorporate them because of their fewer numbers. So ultimately we had this Pretoria branch of the SAMDP, which was basically SAMDP IPA, so to speak. We are not independent from the SAMDP. So when you talk about the Pretoria branch of the SAMDP, that was the Pretoria IPA for SAMDP. And unfortunately, I shall say, I remained loyal to the SAMDP, but then we started having splinter groups of people who coming from Soweto. I shall not mention their names, but they are still giving us problems even up to today. Because then they left SAMDP, formed their own thing, started their own medical aid scheme, came up with other structures called NAHEPCRO, that is 1997, which was to replace SAMDP. I fiercely opposed it, and the meetings were still held in the Midrand, GSK offices. That's where we used to hold our meetings. And I was there fighting these people who also formed their own medical aid called Real Medical Aid, based by Soweto IPA. And they actually even told us that they have got nothing to do with the SAMDP. This ultimately, the Soweto IPA, came to form what you now know today as SPNet. And SPNet, though using SAMDP name, was never affiliated to SAMDP. Their business was always outside the realm or control of the SAMDP. The hijacking of SAMDP, as you see today, it is hijacked by SPNet people.
Wow. So now, because I look at me, I have no issues of mentioning the names because I've engaged with these people and they know me, I know them. You are talking about Elijah Nkosi, right?
Yes,
Nkosi
and
is
Sam
one.
and Dr. Nkateko
Yeah, Nkateko Mnisi,
yeah.
Elijah Nkosi.
Yeah.
Those are the guys, yeah. They know that I had issues. And, you know, even now I still have issues with them. I asked them a lot of questions they failed to answer. No, that's great. Thanks for that background. And now, what happened then from, because it would seem like SPNet still exists and it had no relationship with SMDP. And how did they come, I mean, now into a point where now they are sort of part and parcel of SMDP, or they were also members of SMDP? How did they come to be part of SMDP
they actually left?
Yeah.
And around about 2004,
yeah,
Dr. Joe Mailani actually called them back.
Oh, okay.
To join the SMDP.
Oh, I see.
But they were not part and parcel of the SMDP. That's why when we started SGH, they were not there. They were only belonging to SPNet.
Wow. Wow.
They joined only after SGH was formed, but not also a long time ago. They joined possibly around about 2012.
Yeah, I'm in a Zoom meeting. When I finish, I'll come to you where you.
Oh, Dr. Rangaka is talking.
Oh, pardon.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yes. Okay, I see. So can you then take us through, Dr. Rangaka? I mean, it sounds like there were good times. And then when did the bad times start? Because, I mean, here's a noble organization formed by such powerful people with such a good mission. And where did things start going wrong? The wheels coming off. Do you remember? Or can you take us through that one?
Yes, the real problem actually started in 1998.
Yeah.
That is when we started experiencing some problems as SAMDP.
Mm-hmm.
Because the old SMDP board actually sort of left the organization. And that's when I became the secretary and became very active, and in fact. And since then, in 1998, ultimately we ended up forming what we now know as SGH in 2004.
Right.
That's when we started in 2004. But before, there were parties and companies that were formed by SMDP, were part and parcel of Netcare. You will recall, in 1997, we formed 30% of Netcare together with Kopanoke Matla of COSATU, ourselves as SMDP. They have 20%, we have 10% in this 30%. We were founded by one company called Norwich Union. It was an insurance company. They actually gave us 50 million rand to buy our stake in Netcare. Personally, at this level, I still believe our shares are still there, held by Rand Merchant Bank. I still believe so, yes. But then in 2004, we ultimately formed SMDP Group Holding with 7 founding members, holding 30%, and the rest, that is members of the SMDP, holding 70%. This was done properly because even resolutions were passed. Aspen Pharmacare used to give us their halls for meetings, and we had meetings there, and we actually formed this SMDP. As a founder member, I shall tell you, it took a lot of my time, and possibly I lost lots and lots of money because I had to go there. I was forced by one Dr. Akwaina Tulare, who simply said, you must come and be with me here. And that is how I actually became very, very active in all meetings. We met all the lawyers you could imagine, who are now in Protea Place in Sandton City. Your Clive Dagger Hofmeyer, your Hofmeyer. Those were the lawyers who were actually advising us on all these businesses of SAMDP. Ultimately, we ended up with what it is now known today as SAMDP Group Holding, which was changed to a private company, PTY Ltd, instead of a public company when it was ultimately hijacked. I would say hijacked around about 2016, 2017, when it was actually hijacked and taken over by Joe Mailani, Munisi, Sam Chabangu, and Lokopani Mokhaladi. And they took the company and made it theirs. That is why, when we're doing all these things, we were advised by Schindler's attorneys, and there was one Kevin Trinder-Smith of a company called Base Capital. They were basically an advisory company. One of them, the two directors, was a lawyer, and one was a chartered accountant. And the chartered accountant was Kevin Smith. So everything and all the transactions that we did, we had these experts advising us on exactly what to do. So it was done properly, it was structured properly, and we knew, and I knew, I must say I knew, because in almost all the meetings of this as GH, I was there. You know, I was there. It's not like I didn't know what was going on. I was there. We were dealing with Schindler's as company secretary initially. Ultimately, the company secretary, after the audits, which were released in the year 2010 by PwC, where we actually went to meet with one senior partner in this company called PwC. He actually told us for CIH, Community Investment Holdings or Community Healthcare Holdings, which was its subsidiary, is not a shareholder of Golden Pond. So this story is there. It's not just a story, it is there. Lawyers actually tell us you must always have evidence when you say something. When I approached the auditor, there were two actually, at their Pretoria office. I took Dr. Khalid with me as a witness, you know, so that I mustn't say the auditor said that to me. And I asked him twice, is CIH, is Community Healthcare Holding a shareholder of Golden Pond? And he said, no. And I gave them the documents as well, the audited financials. And that is when actually the transaction was taking place in 2006. And they started saying they are shareholders, and they were not shareholders. I personally in 2011 went to the company secretary, which was a new company secretary, and this was PwC now, not these auditors, but new people. And I went to see the lady there, and I asked the person, is CIH a shareholder of Golden Pond? The lady said, no. I went to CIPC, I'm quoting here. I went to CIPC, I looked for any information, and I found nothing. Here is the register book. CIH is not a shareholder of Golden Pond. So I have that information that when I was running the company as a CEO, I was appointed at Schindler's attorneys, received that, and we were told that we can now run the company. It is quite an interesting story. Now the people who are claiming that they've got audited financial statements of Golden Pond and SGH, when they start with the audits of Golden Pond, please note this, they don't include 28 February 2005, and they don't include 28 February 2006. Those were financial years, year end of our audits. They don't include them. And Dr. Mkulisi, you'll recall, I gave you that information.
Yes, definitely. I have that information.
Yeah. So they are not. Even though in 2007, the CIP documents will show that Mr. Joe Madugandaba and Dr. Anamo Khogong were directors. They were not. directors of Golden Pond. They were not at all. And this story is just what happened. When all IPAs, remember I belong to OD IPA. I was the chairman by the time.
Yeah.
When the IPA movement was brought in by net partners, we joined as individual doctors from OD IPA, but myself now, I also joined as part of the SAMDP. And that's when Golden Pond basically started everything. And it was holding around 8% of net partners. So that's where we really started as SAMDP. Later, we were holding 18% of the new company, which we now see as Afrocentric. That's where we are. And on that one, I also have the documents. Yes, I've got them. I'll give you that so that we can see how this shareholding was broken down. That information, I've got it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. That's quite a detailed information, eh? Okay, Dr. Ramaka, anything to add?
Okay, I need to add that a lot of us, that is the founding members of the SAMDP, sort of got sucked into, for instance, me and Dr. Tiu, we went to work in the military, and then we were now not actually attending the SAMDP meetings and following what is going on, but assuming that everything is going right. And only to be shocked, the four of us at some stage, that is Dr. Nome Mabasa, Dr. Tukutsiu, Dr. Shaida Khan, and Dr. Tawarana, we received a letter from the SAMDP's auditors or accountants, 2018, just that we must please sign the audited statement. And then that's when we woke up, we started touching each other. Hey guys, have you been attending the meetings of the SAMDP? They say we must sign. No, you can't sign. You can't be in 2018 since 1989, or even 1997. That is when Dr. Pilar Khosi was talking about what happened in 1997 with the SPNet and so on. We since that time, we were never at an SAMDP meeting, in a board meeting. So we were surprised. And so we went to the CIPC to check who are the board members of the SAMDP. And lo and behold, these four doctors, Norman Mabasa, Tawaranga, Letukutsio, and Shaida Khan, were actually members of the board of the SAMDP, as if they've been attending regularly, with Joe Mailani, Gwen Ramukhopa, and who was the
Solimutlante.
Solimutlante as treasurer. So those are the people, 7 people who were in 2018 as members, as members of the board. Then we called a meeting. We went to see Joe Mailani, and Gatoko was there, and and Dr. Sam Shaman. Yes, we were at that meeting and said, guys, please update us what's going on here. And Joe Mailani said laughingly, guys, this is a secretarial error. You guys should have been removed from being on the board members of the SAMDP long ago. The secretaries should have informed the CIPC that you are no longer there and so on. Then we said, no, Give us the latest AGM new minutes and resolutions. Give us, when was the last AGM? When was the last meeting of all the members of the SAMDP? No, there wasn't. That Dr. Pilakosu will tell us. And when last did an AGM of all members of the SAMDP, all the branches from Cape Town right up to Mafike? When last did they meet? So there cannot be any AGM resolutions. So that whole thing was illegal, and we were surprised. So in 2 weeks or so, Joe removed us, or not Joe, what they call the committee, the main committee. It was just Dr. Sam Shabang and Dr. Munisi and Joe Malan, the three of them. They were the committee that was activating things and so on. They removed us and then put in other people that are probably excited to be the board members of the SAMDP. But they will not produce any notes, any minutes, anything, any financial statements, nothing was available. And then we went, the four of us, because we realized there's something wrong. Let's go to the banks. The bank of the SAMDP is Standard Bank. Let's go there. Then went to the city and went to commercial bank. They said, no, you guys in SAMDP, no, you are not signatories on the account. The account is only, the only person who is a signatory here is Dr. Munisi. He's the one that can act, that can do things on the bank account of the SAMDP. And when we were able to get the manager to at least give us some information, how much money is there? There were some like, I don't know, 79 rands in that account, but it was very active, moving large funds left and right. So that's the last time that we went to try and get clarity on what the SAMDP is about and what's going on. And then we decided to open a case, a commercial case of commercial crimes. We went to Johannesburg, opened the case against the SAMDP.
Oh,
okay. Yeah. So we want to open that criminal case against the SAMDP. Well, especially it was Joe Mailani who would be standing for all of these things. But we mentioned the three of them that they must be questioned or they must be investigated. And then, yeah, it became too quiet for 3 years or so. And then when we went there, before COVID, like 2020, when we went to Poisson's police station to check what's happening with the case, and we've got the case number. They said, no, this is the commercial crimes thing somewhere else, where they host the accounts of where they cover Nasrec. So we went there again looking for whoever was the investigating officer. We never found any investigating officer, and we got very, very frustrated. So that let me pause here and allow the Pilwa to say something. Or if Shaida is there, she'll also say something.
Unfortunately, she's not with us yet. Yeah, it's okay. We can continue.
Okay.
Yes, Dr. Pilakoshi.
Okay,
yeah, one of the highlights basically when talking about the history of the SAMDP is that, as I say, I was always there. We were working hand in hand, you know, with National Union of Mine Workers. Mm-hmm. We joined Paulmet, but together as SAMDP and Paulmet, we were to form one medical aid called Pathfinder.
Yeah, I remember.
We were already to get about 27,000 members at the Impala Platinum in Rustenburg. But as you guys, you cannot believe it. These guys of SPNet were already inside Paulmet. The very same SPNet guys.
Yeah.
They actually sabotaged our 25% that we are supposed to get from Paulmet. And then the Pope find the story, it actually died.
Sure.
So it is one of those sad moments when we can tell you it was very difficult for us. But it's not like only that. We also formed, we're part and parcel of a new bank that was formed earlier. I want to believe in around about 2001, 2002. But that bank also folded. I suspect they didn't comply with all the necessary laws and rules, of FSB. But we are also part of that institution. We tried quite a lot of other things. Our real breakthrough came in 2004 when Net Partners was formed.
Sure. So in summary, guys, if I understand this very well, SMDP, when it was formed, okay, maybe let me ask a question. Did SMDP in its mission, or as this mission, have anything to do with empowering doctors per se, meaning that looking at the previously disadvantaged doctors, dentists, and medics to economically empower them to make sure that they participate in the mainstream economy? Has it been their mission or objective at some stage?
Yes.
Hello?
There was one Dr. Jackie Shevel who was the CEO of Netcare.
Right.
I shall never forget him because when he started Netcare Hospital, when they bought from the Hurwitz family, he went to Joe and said, guys, the SAMDP has the best network in the country. Whether you are in Musina, Nelspruit, Ntubatuba, or Mahikeng, we were all part and parcel of the SAMDP. Mm-hmm. And therefore, whatever was benefiting anybody, like when Netcare was formed, that definitely was to benefit all the doctors. And remember, you will remain in Musina and there will be a Netcare hospital there, and definitely you will benefit as a doctor. There was that network, yes. SMDP was empowering doctors and really helping them to make sure that we all succeed about whatever is happening. When it came to legislature, the SMDP was there. When it came to the appearance of what is now called SAMA, the SMDP was there, ensuring that a lot of these other doctors you are now seeing in SAMA, they were there because of the SMDP. When it came to Health Professional Council representation, it was because of the SMDP. Even the CEO currently, Masike, we're talking members of the SAMDP. It did, in fact, help many doctors benefit a lot, including politics. And I mean politics. When there was a strike in 2010, from my office as the CEO of SGH, I'm the one who was organizing the doctors to travel around with the Minister of Health, Dr. Aaron Motsoaledi. We were organizing the doctors in all these centers. We come from Polokwane, we come from KZN, Albert Luthuli Hospital, Midrand, and Cape Town University twice. We did, as SMDP, basically, have a direct link with the government, yes.
Wow. So in a way, I take it that the doctors who were part of SMDP, they had to contribute something, because when I joined SMDP, we were paying, I think it was 400 rands per year, something like that. I take it that for any doctor to have some benefits from SMDP, he had to join and be a member and contribute. Am I correct in terms of membership fees?
The answer is yes. That is why when we formed the SGH, the 30% will go to the founders, but 70% was to go as shares directly to members of the SMDP. Mm. The Blue Wave you are seeing there, it was a P2R Ltd, not even a trust, because it was just going to be this company, Blue Wave, P2R Ltd, dishing all the shares, the 70% of shareholding, to the members of the SMDP. That is how it was to be. And all you needed to do was to be a member of the SMDP by contributing your 750 rand per annum.
Yeah, it was about that, yeah.
Yes. That is what the 70% is all about. Now today we have what is called Blue Wave Trust. And all of a sudden it's owned by these 4 people only. That's the problem.
Sure. And who is Sam Shabangu, is Mnisi, is John Mukhaladi, and then there is...
And now, and Musoli Mutlante now.
Musoli Mutlante, there are 4.
They are the only owners now of Blue Wave Trust.
So they took all these millions or billions, whatever is there.
Yes. It belongs to them.
Sure. Yeah, that's scary. And then now, if what would be the situation, for instance, where people were members and at some point they stopped paying their subscription, their yearly subscriptions? What happens in that case? Did you have any?
No, we have a nice policy that all members of the SAMDP will just be told, pay back all your arrears, you get your shares. That's it.
Oh, I see. I see.
Yes.
I see. So meaning that me now, as I'm actually, because I organized this interview to assist the members of SAMDP, whether in good standing today or not, all they have to do is just to update their contributions, I mean, their subscription, and then they will be in good standing. Therefore, they are entitled to any benefits.
Of course.
Am I correct? Yeah.
Certainly. Certainly.
Yeah.
It does not belong to these 4 people only.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's comforting to hear. Dr. Rangaka, anything else? Where's Dr. Rangaka?
Okay, maybe we may conclude. We will have to connect again.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, maybe something happened there.
Yeah.
Okay. No, that's very informative, Dr. Pilakoshi.
Sure.
Now, I heard, from reliable sources that actually, of course, we know now that the story of SAMDP, I mean, it has been hijacked complete, but the next was also SGH has been complete. Not only that, but it's on sale. Am I
yes.
correct? Yeah.
I can confirm that SGH is for sale.
Do you know?
Barrel and all.
Wow. And who is selling SGH now? Is this the board that
these 4
board?
people? These 4 people, Soli Mutlante, Dr. Nkata Komunisi, Dr. Sam Chabangu, and Dr. Lekopane Mukhaladi.
Wow.
Yes.
And then how many companies now are in SGH as we speak?
Personally, I do not know. But when I left there, we used to have Golden Pond, which had shares in Netcare.
Right.
And Afrocentric.
Right.
And their representative company in Afrocentric was called Golden Pond. It's called Golden Pond.
Yeah.
And then there was another company called Papa Vangelo.
Right.
Which was under Old Mutual BEED.
Right.
Yes. And then I wouldn't know about all other new companies that they were formed and they were liquidated. I wouldn't know what happened.
Yeah.
Do you know those I cannot.
Do you know anything about Sanlam? Because apparently Sanlam also was owned by SGH or Sanlam.
No. Sanlam bought shares in Afrocentric.
Oh, it bought shares in Afrocentric.
Yes. So far it holds, I am told, 60%.
Oh, it bought 60%.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And what about Medskim?
Medskim is 100% owned by Afrocentric.
Which is owned by, Afrocentric is owned by Golden Pond.
Pardon?
I'm saying Medskim is owns 100% of Afrocentric. Oh, it's owned, sorry. It's owned by Afrocentric.
Yeah, it's owned by Afrocentric.
And the Afrocentric is owned by Golden Pond.
No. Afrocentric now is owned by Sanlam 60%.
Oh, yeah, but 40% by Golden Pond.
By all other smaller shareholders.
Oh, okay.
You have Golden Pond, which is SGH, you have CIH, and others, and some of us as individuals.
Yeah.
Who are still having shares in Afrocentric directly.
Yeah. There's a company called Accenture. Accenture, you know about that company, Accenture?
Remember, you'll be having Afrocentric and you'll also be having subsidiaries.
Yeah.
So Sanlam used to own part of that, 28% of this part of the subsidiary of Afrocentric.
Yeah.
Yeah. But remember now things are happening. I'm not there anymore. I won't know who's who.
I see. I see.
Yeah. But the company that is to buy the shares of Golden Palm is called ARC.
Yeah.
African Rainbow Capital.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. And then just to assist us on this one, how did Anam Hokong and Joma Tukandawa come into the picture just to assist the members?
No, it was initially when we started.
Yeah. They
were promising that they'll come up with funding, and they didn't come up with it.
Yeah.
Remember, we were advised by Schindler's attorneys.
Yeah.
And then they didn't come up with funding, and therefore they could not own the 36% they are claiming in Golden Pond.
Right.
They did not come up with it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Because they were saying they'll come with the surety, and they never had any surety put on the table. Yeah. That is why the auditors, PwC, told us straight, they are not shareholders.
Wow.
Year 2011. I can tell you that for the record.
Yeah. And who are the directors of SGH as we speak, and the directors of SMDP?
As it stands now, is Soli Mutlante, is Munisi, is Lekopani, is Shabangu.
So these are the guys that we need to go for any legal
action. These are the guys
as members.
Yeah, as members. And the right thing, of course, is just to go to their offices and let's see the books.
Exactly.
Yes.
Wow. No, I must be honest. It assists us quite a lot as members. I believe that with the information that we have, we'll be able to fight our way through. They're not gonna walk away just like that.
No, they cannot.
No, definitely. And I think we will have another session. Maybe for this one, I would say maybe it's enough. And of course, one will have to go back to the information that we have and try and get more. And if there's anything, and then I'll always come back to you. I'll announce another.
But you promised me.
Yeah.
Sorry, you promised me to get me an appointment with the lawyers.
Yes, actually, I spoke to them. They were not sure of the date. So I said to them, I'll call them after this meeting, actually, just to check if they manage.
Let it be next week, Thursday or Friday.
Or next week, and then I'm sure then that one would be easier.
Yeah.
Maybe
next week. Thursday or Friday.
Yeah, definitely. In fact, the senior counsel promised that he will join us, but he has got a problem with his child. He's not well. So I said, no, he must not stress. If he can't make it, it's still okay.
Thank you.
But I'll call him after this meeting.
Sure.
No, thanks, guys. I really appreciate your time. I don't see Taramaka, but anyway, I'll share the video with him. I'll also share the video with you, Justice. And thanks a lot for your time.
Sure.
Thanks, bye.